What's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of November 6th. I'm your host, Zach, and joining me once again, we've got the world's #1 Psychonauts fan, David.
Extra life tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Saturday. Well, you said the 6th, which is tomorrow, but we're recording on the 5th.
It makes sense. We've got the Ace Attorney, Bridge.
Extra life in one day or 2 days, depending on when you're watching this.
We've got the King of the Box Gods, Chris. And last but not least, we've got the hockey sticks and sickle herself, Elise.
I'm just trying to get what I need to get done before Destiny removes half the game.
Hey, I'm waiting for them to remove half the game so I can start playing that game.
If this is your first time tuning in, this is the Gaming News Talk Show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. How this show works, we talk through the week's news in gaming, and if you're watching live on twitch.tv/KingKaiser, you can actually use the channel points to vote and determine the scores. Whoever has the highest score at the end of the show wins and gets to talk about whatever they like for a whole minute. But we always start the show with a trivia question to determine the order. Crunchyroll, the anime streaming service that is going to be purchased by PlayStation, it seems. How many minutes do its users stream on average per month?
Now, this is total users, not average per user, right?
Total users, yes.
Okay.
8 million.
8 million. 8 million minutes of anime watched a month.
10 million minutes.
10 million minutes.
I'm going to go real high. I'm going to say 20.
20 million minutes?
Yeah, 20 million
Just 20 minutes.
They've got like...
One episode minus opening and ending credits.
I mean, they've got like 3 million subscribers and 7 million free people, so it's going to be more than that.
I think it's 7
I'm going to
million.
say like...
I'm trying to think how many there's probably inactive users, though.
I'm going to say like 330 million.
330 million. The correct answer, 1.5 billion minutes of anime.
Shit. Okay, that's
Way
a lot of fucking
They've got
anime.
like 10 million users, so just everyone watching one episode is like 2.
It's true. I did 5 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen this week, so that's already submitted right there.
I believe, David, you had the highest number?
I was still very off, but yes.
Yeah. And then...
It's Dave, then me, then Bridge,
Okay.
then Elise.
All right.
Elise
Correct.
is living in her own fucking dream world with that bullshit.
Let's talk through this week's topics. We've got Sony says not to wait in line for the PlayStation 5 launch because all sales of the console will be digital at release. As I mentioned in the trivia topic, looks like Sony is going to buy Crunchyroll for $1 billion. The Xbox Series S only has 364 gigabytes of storage space after the OS. Similarly, the PlayStation 5 only has 650 gigabytes of usable storage. DONTNOD, the makers of Life is Strange, currently have 6 games in development. BioWare finally shows off Anthem's 2.0 update. Will this be enough to save this game? Sega.
Spoilers.
Yes,
No.
spoilers. Everyone's going to hate that topic. Sega is selling off its arcade business in Japan. Pokimane creates a $5 donation cap on her Twitch channel. GameStop challenges employees to a TikTok dance contest to earn more work hours during Black Friday. If you are in our Discord, we just also announced that they canceled this because everybody said, yo, what the fuck, GameStop?
Compete for capitalism, you sheep.
Yeah. Remember how Sony said that only 10 PlayStation 4 games, actually I think it was 9 PlayStation 4 games, won't work on PlayStation 5? Well, Ubisoft said, no, we've got a couple more. Holy shit, Nintendo is making bajillions of dollars right now. And last but not least, Amazon patents a system to group toxic players together in matchmaking queues. David, you were up first. What would you like to talk about for the first topic of the show?
As is tradition on this show, I would like to dunk on GameStop, please.
Take it away.
As is tradition.
So GameStop's like, I don't know, their marketing department, internal marketing department, whatever, decided to make a TikTok contest only for GameStop employees, of which there are not that many. There's
Not
only
anymore.
like there's less than 5,830 GameStops left, so like they don't have that many employees for something like this.
Mhm.
But they're like, "Oh, I'll make a TikTok video, and if we pick your video, we'll give you like an Echo, like Amazon Echo or whatever. We'll give you a gift card and 10 additional labor hours." So for making a TikTok dance challenge video, which, by the way, I 100% recommend that you Google or find the article for this.
Oh no.
The example video that they posted is the most boomer on TikTok shit I've ever seen.
No.
It is
Hello, fellow
literally the cringiest thing they could have possibly picked. But yeah, they reward for doing extra work for a TikTok video for the chance to get a prize instead of them just paying, instead of the marketing people just doing their fucking job and making a marketing video, is to work more. So you get 10 more hours of work because you worked extra for free, most likely. If that...
It's pretty peak capitalism.
No, that's not even peak capitalism. That's just fucking stupid. Like,
it's not late stage capitalism. It's lazy stage capitalism.
I'm gonna give you a point for that one.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, apparently it's the red wine challenge. That if that is not
wait, what?
Drink up, nerds.
The company's event team posted its own #RedWineChallenge video on YouTube as an example. That's what this is called. If that is not the most 50-year-old white Karen thing I've ever fucking seen,
how do you?
I don't know.
How do you drink your red wine while on the shift?
I'm not usually a proponent for firing people. These people deserve it.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Chris, what would you like to take for round 2?
Well, continuing the hollow tradition of ripping on shit here on Around the Monitor, let's talk about everyone's favorite and the most popular video game to ever be played, Anthem. I almost forgot the name of it, not a joke.
Oh my god. This is the Anthem, throw all your hands up.
This is, in fact, the Anthem, throw all your javelins into the air. So those cowards over at BioWare said, like, hey, you guys want Anthem back? And everyone went, no, not really. And they go, okay, well, here's the 2.0 update anyway. And I'm just going to take this time, and I'm going to read you the new additions in Anthem 2.0.
Okay.
Number 1. Choice and experimentation in your loadout. Hold on. I didn't have choice before. I just had the one. Okay, whatever.
A man chooses, a javelin obeys.
Which implies that I didn't have options before. Whatever. I didn't play the game. Let's move on. Maybe I'm wrong. Reliably create builds. Does that mean prior they were unreliable? It was just wild. Whatever happened. We were all just living on the edge.
I think what that refers to is apparently you couldn't you couldn't choose to unlock skills in the game. They were actually random drops. So if you wanted to get like the skill that like had an AoE stun, you had to randomly get it from a boss.
Yes, and now they're adding some systems where you can like get points to unlock those. I don't care. I'm choosing to be mean here. Provide choice and progression through skill trees. Sorry, do you mean like a video game? It sounds like you. I think that you think you mean a video game. Expand on the fantasy and play styles of each javelin. There's nothing really too mean to say about the sentence other than that it is the most back of the box art bullshit I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. This really reeks of, hey guys, none of you bought Anthem. Are you sure you didn't want to? That's really all we have to offer you. But are you sure? Would you like to try it? Maybe, please. And mild spoilers. This is not going to go well. If this is all you have after like basically coming back from an entire rebuild, trying to pull off like a No Man's Sky-esque saving the game, or even like apparently Fallout 76 people like, despite my misconceptions and like disbelief about that. It's not gonna do it, Chief. It's just not gonna do it. You got to do something more interesting and exciting. And like From what I can tell, does this say anything about like giving it for free? Like, can I just play the game? Because it looks like I still have to pay real human dollars for it.
Yeah. It's not free to play.
Yeah, it's not free to play.
Yeah, then I'm not gonna fucking play it because Destiny's free to play and it's the better version of this in every single way.
But can you play?
And Warframe.
Yeah, and Warframe exists. Yeah.
Warframe is
And
also free to play.
Warframe's coming to next gen consoles. You know, it's not coming to next gen consoles. Fucking Anthem, probably. I don't know.
I'm sure it's coming to but Warframe is already.
You know what?
announced they
You know
have
what?
an update.
Hey Zach. This article, Control F, no fucking nothing about next gen.
Wow, this is the Anthem. Put all your hands down, I guess.
The article also says these are concepts and not complete.
Oh my god, there's no date for this
also,
too.
There's
No, there's no date for this.
Oh, fuck off, man! Why did they even put this article in here? This is
Coming
nothing.
soon. Coming soon to a Javelin near you.
Let's also remember it's been almost 2 years since this game came out.
Is that true?
Yeah.
It really has. Yeah,
It
it came
was
out
Oh
like
my
March
God.
of 2018, I think.
I think it was
Give
February.
up.
It was January of 2019.
Just give up.
Yeah, that would be 2 years, right?
Give up
My
like
2
we all
cents on
gave
that.
up on you.
Damn. Before we go to the next topic, a point to Chris from Hector for the Anthem reference. I believe I was the first one to make the Anthem reference, but sure.
Yeah, but you're not on the show, so you'd ask,
That's
kid.
fine. Preach, what would you like to talk about for your first topic?
I would like to talk about Pokimane.
Hey, I've heard of her before.
All right, so disclaimer: I know pretty much nothing about Pokimane. I don't watch her streams. I don't really watch any streams beside of those that belong to people I personally know. So like I'm basically only going to talk about this specific thing, not weighed down by any prior opinions of her.
Mm-hmm.
So popular Twitch streamer, Pokimane, real name Iman Anis, I believe it's pronounced, recently announced on Twitter that she is setting a cap to donations you could give her on her Twitch stream.
Mm-hmm.
That cap is that viewers can now only donate a maximum of $5 to her. And I really want to say this is actually a really cool, a very cool move she did, because for those who don't know, Pokimane's huge.
Yes.
We don't know the exact amount, but estimates are that her exclusive deal with Twitch is around 4.5 million, and she also has her own merchandise and several deals with popular brands, along with all the other ad money and stuff. So like she's doing pretty well for herself, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
She does not need viewer donations to make it. She is doing absolutely fine otherwise. And that's sort of the reason she said she's putting this cap in that, in her words, she wants other people to, quote, support growing channels, charities, and treat yourselves. And this is a really cool thing. And I hope that there are other streamers who latch onto this idea, or maybe even Twitch makes it a feature that you can do. Because she basically had to hire someone to work. She basically had to work with someone to make this an add-on to Twitch she could do, because obviously this is a natural part of Twitch. I would love for Twitch to include some of this, because this is a really good point. A lot of people on Twitch do not need, the big streamers on Twitch don't need that donation money. Anyone with an exclusivity deal with Twitch is almost certainly doing fine for themselves, and they do not need viewer donation money. So the fact that she is telling people to either use that money for other channels or themselves, I think is very cool and the correct thing to do.
Absolutely.
Because again, you see this with other things as well, especially on a lot of crowdsourcing sites where people who don't need it still make Kickstarters or Patreons, or I think there was recently a famous model who made an OnlyFans, and things like that could be very damaging to the amateurs who actually need the fundraising aspects of crowdsourcing sites. Obviously, Twitch is not a crowdsourcing site; it's for it's for newbies and veterans of streaming alike. But it's still good to see that a veteran like Pokimane is trying to not take advantage. I don't even want to say take advantage because people are doing it willingly, but she doesn't want viewers to give her money that she does not need, and rather spread it to up and comers who obviously need it much more. So hopefully this is the thing that catches on, and other streamers do similar things. Again, obviously you don't want to ban donations because people should still be allowed to give you money. But setting a cap is a really good compromise that still gives people the ability to give you money, but again, tries to encourage people to put that money to better use than giving it to someone who is doing fine without it.
Yeah. That being said, I do want to say hello. We're Around the Monitor, a small Twitch channel / games media outlet. If you want to,
we do not have a cap because we need the money.
If you want to go visit our Patreon,
if you're Pokimane and you want to give us money, we're
we
fine
do
with
not
this.
have an exclusivity deal worth $4.5 million.
If you want to simp for any of us, let us know. Join our OnlyFans. We don't have an OnlyFans.
We should do a sexy calendar.
Oh my god!
We had enough people on this goddamn show to do 12 months.
We'll just have
Easy.
like a pinup calendar, and it's us posing nude, but we have like, I don't know. For some reason, my head jumped to Captain Olimar standing between my legs. I don't know why.
What?
I'm not even a huge Pikmin fan.
Abandon this joke.
Yeah. We do have a point to Pridge for tier 3 simping. Hilarious. Hector also says, do it. All right. Elise, what would you like to talk about for your first topic?
Well, Chris and Pridge took the ones I really wanted to talk about. So instead, I'm going to talk about Xbox Series S.
Heck yeah.
This thing has 364 gigabytes of usable space.
That's tiny.
For context, the new COD is going to take 250 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Games are big now, especially like big AAA games. The Witcher 3 a couple years ago is like 60 gigabytes. Most AAA games these days are, 60 to 100 gigabytes.
Mm-hmm.
That means the Xbox Series S has space for generously 4 AAA games, as long as they're the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, like 2.
Yeah.
You can have fucking Destiny and COD. That's all your space. You want to play Destiny and COD? You can't play anything else on your device. Or if you do, you're going to have to delete one of the games and then wait a day for it to download. If you want to play it again. I have 2.5 terabytes in my computer. That's not enough for me after a couple years with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot see how they could. Okay, so I guess it does make sense. It's that this is the cheaper option, and these things have, the most powerful, the fastest SSDs that they can get. Those shits are expensive. 364 gigabytes in that sense makes sense when you're paying for a $300 box that costs, or that also includes, the processor and the GPU and all the other stuff. I think this is an argument that they should add expandable storage, and they should, say, look, you can put your first couple games, your main games, the ones that you really want to play all the time, on your SSD, and then have some expandable storage, have a slot to put in a hard drive or a cheaper SSD, whatever, so that you can put, that's what I do. I've got 500 gigabytes on an SSD and then 2 terabytes of hard drives. Most of my games go on those hard drives because I don't care if I have to wait another 30 seconds for it to load if I'm not going to be playing those games all the time, right? I think that's what they should do. I know it's not going to happen because they pride themselves on how fast their load times are, and if you say, look, you're going to have to, deal with longer load times, then it ruins their marketing, it ruins all that. I still think it's really stupid.
I want to say, I think they've already mentioned expandable storage or external storage. Can somebody
They
back me up
have
on
a
that?
proprietary storage from
Hmm.
Seagate. That's the only one available. I'm
Yeah.
presuming that you can plug that into a Series S. I believe I've only seen it with the Series X, but that would be dumb if they didn't do it with the S.
That would be
It
very
would,
dumb.
it would be dumb.
But it's not cheap.
Yes, that, I do remember
it's like,
that. They
I think
were-
it's like $250, and it's either 500 gigs or an extra terabyte. I don't remember which.
Yeah, which if you're paying
Yeah,
almost as much as the actual console just to get
Yep.
expanded memory, it's like then just buy the friggin' Series X. Games are big, but David, what would you like to talk about for your first topic of round 2?
Man, that's a good question. I probably should have thought about that before.
Oh my god! Get this guy out of here.
You had 3 other people to think about. 3 of us were talking, trying to think.
I forgot. Let's talk about Amazon's patent on toxic players.
Okay, tell us about this patent.
So this thing is weird. The title of the article is Amazon Patents Method of Grouping Toxic Players Together Online. Now, if you're like me, the first thing you thought of when you heard of this was like Toxic Player Island. If you've played a bunch of multiplayer games, you've probably heard of the concept, which is to group toxic players up in matchmaking and force them all to play against each other instead of putting them in groups with other people, which is fantastic. I love it. Most recently, Fall Guys did that with hackers. They basically identified a bunch of hackers before they could figure out how to like ban them easily, and they just made them all get matched together, which was great. So this is not that though. This is basically allowing players to matchmake not only based off of skill level, but to also matchmake based off of behavior. So if you're willing to wait in a queue for a bunch longer to not play with toxic people, you can just be like, I don't want to play with toxic people. And bam, your queue time goes up, but I would assume your gameplay experience is improved. I like this idea a lot, actually.
Put that in fucking League of Legends, please. Holy shit.
Please, dear God. Although I probably couldn't queue with some of my friends. Rob.
Rob and me are in that fucking are in the fucking wilderness, dog.
Yeah, Rob can't defend himself though, so he's easy prey right now. But this is actually like really cool. I think this is taking that Toxic Player Island to a different level that actually puts players in charge of, and for people at really high levels of play, you're probably stuck with not turning that on, honestly. If you're really at a high level of play, your queue times are already long. You probably don't want to double them by waiting for the like 2 other people of your skill level that aren't toxic, because pretty much everyone at high level is pretty fucking toxic, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a feature that would appeal more to people that are not the greatest. And I mean that, I don't mean that demeaningly. I mean literally like the bottom 75%, which is the vast majority of people.
You meant not the greatest as in not the greatest at playing video games.
Yeah, I meant not the greatest at playing video games. And even not the greatest is like most people.
Yeah.
I literally mean people that are not like Diamond in League or Apex or something. So I think this is super cool. I hope that some people actually try this out that aren't Amazon, because Amazon doesn't make games.
I was waiting for somebody to bring that up.
Or when they do make a game, they release it and then unrelease it and then cancel it. So
yeah.
So
if they release the game, maybe they let it have like a week and a half before they kill it.
Yeah, I really hope they don't get this patent and that other people just see this and implement it into their games.
What was the name of their game already? I forgot.
Crucible.
I literally was like
we're here.
New World coming.
Yeah, New World.
New World got better reviews than Crucible did during beta period, so New World has a little more hope for it. But New World's also an MMO, which doesn't really have the same matchmaking things. Maybe this is just left from the body that was Crucible. They just fucking dug up the remains and were like, what can we patent out of this?
Dredged the corpse.
Well, it was The patent was filed a couple years ago. It was just approved, though.
That's true. That's true.
Oh,
So
you're
they
right,
could have
you're
been trying to get it into Crucible and then RIP
Yeah.
Crucible.
The thing that I mentioned with Q times is like this thing won't work for small games. It just
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah.
If you don't have a large player base, you won't be able to do this. But for the games that have big player bases, I hope this becomes something that people at least try out. I don't know if it's a good idea. It sounds good on paper.
Yeah,
I want to see someone do it though. That's my take.
exactly.
Oh god, they're making a Lord of the Rings
you
MMO.
can-
Oof.
Yes, they are. Chris.
You can like specifically say, I don't mind, I don't mind people leaving, but I don't want people throwing slurs, or vice versa.
That's dope
which,
that they
you know,
have like that level
Options,
of
yeah.
customization.
I mean, they didn't specify that in here, so
You can choose
well,
the
they
level
said
not-
you can choose like what parts of what like toxicity things you want to like filter out.
yeah, they didn't go into detail as to what that meant though, which is why I didn't bring it up. Because that could mean
I was
a
kind
lot
of
of
elaborating.
things.
Yeah.
Chris, what would you like to talk about for your second topic?
Ooh, video games probably. God, there's
Just
really
throw a curveball. Just
fuck
give us
all
something
left,
different.
isn't there?
Fuck it, let's talk about Nevada.
No, can't.
Don't get me started. Let's talk about Sega. Sega saying, and we're not doing arcades anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sega after a bajillion years is like, you know what, guys, arcades, they're dead. We're not doing them anymore. I'm sorry. It's your fault that we're not doing them anymore. And this sucks because arcades are basically a dead thing, and especially in North America, where it's like it's such a niche thing. And Japan was kind of keeping them alive, and especially like the fighting game community loves a good old arcade. It's a classic, like it's a classic build up thing. But I want to talk about the franchise that's truly hurt by this, and that is the Yakuza franchise.
Oh,
Because the Yakuza games have the absolute best fucking mini games, which all take place inside of different Sega arcades, including like the best way to play Tekken 2 is in Yakuza 0. So fuck you.
So what you're saying is that you think after this they're gonna remove the geographically incorrect Sega arcades from the landmark positions in Tokyo in Yakuza games.
Correct. Going forward, yes.
You don't think that they would still put them there?
No, because how they would never lie to me.
Okay.
I don't know. I took a dumb topic. No, this sucks. I wish that it wasn't happening because I really like arcades, and like as it stands, Sega's main shtick now is, hey, we released the Yakuza games, and hey, we also kind of own arcades a little bit. And like this is just like this basically just saying like, hey, unless you're just making pachinko machines, it's not viable to fucking have an arcade anymore. So Konami wins.
God damn it, Konami, you've done it again.
If you happen to be in Tokyo at any point, this is anyone listening, and the arcade still exists in Odaiba, go there. It's awesome. It's Sega Arcade in Odaiba.
Pridge, what would you like to talk about for your second topic?
Let's talk about the Nintendo. Let's talk about Nintendo.
Nintendo.
So as everyone knows, there's been a lot of video game companies have been dealing with COVID in different ways. A lot of delays, a lot of confusion, a lot of stuff, and a lot of more delays. If there is one of the three major video game makers, if you're looking at Microsoft, Sega, and Nintendo, that seemed like it was getting hit the hardest by COVID, it was Nintendo. They're on the surface, it seemed like there wasn't a lot going on this year. They didn't have a big new console to hype up. They had an absolute ton of delays, and still a bunch of like delays that haven't even been like, we don't even know like a new date for them yet. Again, they did a lot of those little partner directs people got really mad about because they didn't include the things Nintendo told them they weren't going to include, and a lot of stuff. So you might be thinking, this might be a bummer year for Nintendo. Well, you would be wrong, because it's never a bummer year for Nintendo, because it's Nintendo, and they literally just print money. Just print endless endless amounts of money.
Except for the Wii U years. But we
Except
don't
for the
talk
Wii-
about this.
Yeah, even then 3DS was out, so who gives a fuck?
That's true.
Nintendo's basically their H1, so first half profits, freaking like tripled.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely ridiculous amounts of money. And while it may seem surprising when you look at, like, again, how much things they've had delayed and how few big name stuff that like has come out, you realize no wait, everyone wanted to Switch during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Crossing exists.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario 3D All Stars exists.
Yep.
Everyone wanted a Ring Fit when gyms closed.
Uh-huh.
Even Paper Mario Origami King managed to sell close to 3 million units.
How? How did it do that? I read that number in this article and I was like, what?
182. But yeah, I mean, Animal Crossing sold 26 mil.
Jesus
3D
God.
All Stars was,
I think 5.5 million.
yeah, 5.5. It's just,
Bonkers.
even Mario Kart 8 still doing well. Even the old games, Breath of the Wild still sold really well. Odyssey, Splatoon 2, all still sold really well. Just copious amounts of money, and they barely have to do anything.
Yeah.
That is why Nintendo is so immune to the console wars now, because it doesn't really matter what they do. As long as
Your childhood.
as long as they just release something tangentially related to one of their like 3 flagship franchises, it doesn't matter. They have the money.
Yeah. I'm personally really excited to see how Hyrule Warriors sells. I think it's going to sell really well, but
I would like to add one bit of data to that.
sure.
Animal Crossing New Horizons has been out for about 7 months, and it is the 28th best-selling game of all time.
and it's on one console.
Wild.
And it's on the Switch.
Yeah.
It has nearly a 50% attach rate, which is fucking insane.
That's unbelievable.
Get fucked, Tetris.
Alexei, fuck, what was his last name?
Pajitnov.
Pajitnov?
Alexei Pajitnov, eat butt. Elise,
Nice, got him.
yeah, I got him. Totally got him. Elise, bring us home.
All right. I guess I'm going to talk about DONTNOD. DONTNOD, creators of the Life is Strange franchise, currently have 6 games in development.
I don't like
somehow.
that name.
Sorry, what was that, Bridge?
I don't like that name. I don't know
It's a
why.
bad name.
I don't hate the
Especially the way
name.
it's-
I hate the way it's spelled. Exactly. It's all caps, all together, no apostrophe. It just
Yeah.
fucks me up.
I'm sorry to
No
interrupt.
apostrophe, no
I just wanted to point
space, no nothing.
I get it. I get that it's an ambigram. Is that what it's called? No, a palindrome.
It is a palindrome, correct.
But fuck, I hate the way it looks on paper. Anyways,
Doesn't mean it's a good palindrome.
Not great.
yeah. Elise, take it away.
Life is Strange was originally a side project. We talked about this before the show started. Was originally a side project for the team who was working on like the sequel to Remember Me or something. I don't think the game that that was their main project ever actually came out.
Sounds like
because-
Forgot You then.
Life is Strange
Remember Me is
not so
ironic,
big.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, no one remembers Remember Me because game
Maybe,
kind
it
of
should- maybe, maybe it shouldn't have been shit.
Okay.
Life is Strange was originally a side project. That's why those games look the way they do. That's why it's like kind of a small game, even though the team is like sizable.
Mhm.
And it's an episodic game. It came out over, I think, a couple months. Life is Strange 2 recently, just last year, came out over the course of an entire year, I believe.
Mhm.
Those aren't big games. There was also in between Captain Spirit, I believe is the name,
Yes.
which was just a short, free Life is Strange like interlude.
Mhm.
This is a small team. Like it's not as small as you might think, but it's a small team that took a year to come out with an episodic Life is Strange 2 that
Mhm.
overall wasn't that long of a game. And somehow they're trying to do 6 games together
Yes.
at once.
Yes.
As far as I know, they haven't hired on new talent.
Not that I'm aware.
And if they have, you can't sextuple a game studio between games. That's
Good
just not
vocabulary.
something that is like physically possible.
Mm-hmm.
So unless these games are like tiny, unless these are like 1 episode's worth of game,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot see this working out. At least not in a reasonable time frame.
Mm-hmm.
If we get, no Life is Strange, no DONTNOD games for the next 5 years, 6 years, and then they come out like, hey, 2027,
This
the year
is
of
our
DONTNOD.
our
Here's
year,
7
boys.
games.
We're coming back.
You guys still playing Telltale likes? Still a thing you guys are
That would
interested
be a
in?
power move. And if they do that, I would have so much respect for them.
Wouldn't it be a fucking bad business
Or even
move?
just like, they don't release the game for a couple of years. They get all these ready, and then, starting 2025 or something, they say, okay, we're doing 1 game a year, full season, over the course of 6-7 months.
Mhm.
You're going to get these games. I think that'd be really cool. If that's not what happens, I think this is going to make a bunch of bad games. That's where I'm at.
It's I think I said it in the Discord. Like this seems very much like, hey, remember Telltale? This is kind of what Telltale did. You guys are the new Telltale. Don't do the same thing.
Telltale 2.
The Telltale Heart.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Life is Strange is basically like a Telltale game,
Mm-hmm.
but not made by Telltale. And
Also-
Telltale, yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
Also,
so.
Supermassive. Is it Supermassive? Yeah.
Yes.
That did
Supermassive is
The
Until
Until
Dawn.
Dawn people.
their newest
Mhm.
game just kind of is not doing great with critics. Their last game didn't do great with critics. It kind of seems like this is a bad business strategy for everyone. But here we are.
Mhm.
Dan
And
Steiner
I'm pretty
says,
sure-
coming 2021, Strife is Lange. I wish.
I'm pretty sure like Life is Strange 2 did not do well either.
I think you're right.
Like,
Nope.
no one
Strange
played it.
before the storm.
I think it financially did all right, but not nearly as well as Life is
Yeah.
Strange 1.
And let me tell you,
I don't know
episodic
anybody
games
who
are
played it.
dumb.
Here's the thing.
Sounds right for non-Americans.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I done goofed, and David and Pridge have tie scores right now. Dapper gives a point to David. There it is, folks. We
Damn
have.
it! I didn't think to do that. I could have done it.
It's usually against the rules, but we take it.
David, are you ready for your minute to win it?
Sure.
All right. Take it away.
Well, at least if you're American, this week has probably been full of anxiety for you, regardless of which side you're on. So why not take Saturday off, chill, and come watch Extra Life, where we will
With
be
the
streaming
boys.
from 10 a.m. Pacific time until at least 10 a.m. Pacific time Sunday. So if you're like, oh, I gotta work that day, that's not an excuse. 24 hours.
Get your ass in here.
So come by, either watch, participate, have some fun. If you have money to give, we'll be collecting donations for my local hospital because I set the thing up. So it goes to the Orange County Children's Hospital for kids with cancer and their families. So come help the big beautiful kids. That's all.
Yeah.
Specifically large children. We only help the large
big
children.
beautiful kids. We don't have like a finalized schedule yet, or at least like one that we can just show off to you, but we will be doing 2 rounds of Video Game Jeopardy, another round of Chaos Jeopardy. We still have 70 video games to give away, I believe, so please show up again and try and win some games. But anything else to plug this week?
I did make a schedule that is on the Extra Life page. We just don't have a graphic. So
Yeah.
if you go to our Extra Life page, extra-life.org/participant/ATM, I know that's a mouthful. I'm sorry.
I did just finish a video essay on the history of rhythm games per se. I call it the rise and fall of rhythm games because they ain't nearly as popular as they used to be. They don't make them like they used to. And go check that out because it was a lot of fun to research. I do say a few things wrong, as people in the comments have pointed out, but that's what you get. Well,
Hopefully, by the time you're watching this in the glorious future, Joe Biden has won. If not, oh God, help us all.
yeah, Jesus, Nevada, get your shit together. All right, but until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.